The race toward the 2027 Rugby World Cup is beginning to take shape, and while the Springboks continue to set the benchmark in international rugby, a respected voice believes another powerhouse is quietly assembling the squad capable of ending South Africa's reign. Former Scotland head coach Matt Williams has delivered a fascinating assessment of the current rugby landscape, arguing that France are the only nation with the depth, physicality, and attacking brilliance to truly challenge the reigning world champions. His comments come after the conclusion of the Southern Series of the inaugural Nations Championship, a tournament that once again highlighted why the Springboks remain the team everyone wants to beat. However, it also showcased the rapid development of Fabien Galthié's French side, who impressed despite traveling without several of their biggest stars. Williams believes those performances were no accident, but rather another sign that France are methodically building a squad capable of lifting the William Webb Ellis Cup in Australia in 2027. At the same time, the outspoken pundit offered a far less encouraging verdict on Andy Farrell's Ireland, suggesting that while France are climbing toward the summit of world rugby, Ireland may be heading in the opposite direction. His analysis has sparked fresh debate across the rugby world about which nation is truly best equipped to challenge South Africa over the next 2 years. Few coaches have transformed a national side quite like Fabien Galthié has done with France. Since taking charge, he has reshaped Les Bleus into one of the most balanced teams in international rugby, combining enormous forward power with some of the most exciting attacking players in the modern game. What impressed Matt Williams most during the Southern Series was not simply the victories over Australia and Japan, but the courage shown by Galthié in experimenting with his squad. Many coaches become cautious in the season before a World Cup, preferring stability over innovation, yet the French coach has adopted the opposite philosophy. Several senior internationals remained at home to recover after the demanding top 14 final, leaving a relatively inexperienced squad to travel for the tournament. Despite those absences, France nearly shocked the All Blacks in Christchurch before producing convincing victories in their remaining fixtures. For Williams, those results demonstrated something far more important than winning individual matches. They revealed the extraordinary depth now available to French rugby. Perhaps the boldest tactical move came through Fabien Galthié's decision to field both Matthieu Jalibert and Romain Ntamack in the same starting lineup. Traditionally, both players are recognized as world-class fly-halves, yet Galthié shifted Jalibert to fullback while allowing Ntamack to control proceedings from number 10. Rather than disrupting France's attacking rhythm, the move unlocked entirely new dimensions to their offense. With two elite playmakers operating simultaneously, France became significantly more unpredictable. Defenders struggled to identify where the next attacking wave would come from, while both players enjoyed the freedom to step into the line and exploit defensive weaknesses from multiple positions. Williams described the partnership as electrifying and warned that the possibilities created by having both creative stars on the field together should concern every international opponent. If this combination continues developing over the next 18 months, it could become one of the defining tactical weapons of the next Rugby World Cup. Yet Williams' praise extended well beyond France's backline. In his opinion, what truly separates Les Bleus from the rest of the chasing pack is the balance throughout the entire squad. International rugby has repeatedly shown that championships are usually won by teams capable of dominating physically before unleashing attacking brilliance, and Williams believes France have now reached that level. He argued that they possess the only forward pack capable of matching the relentless size, aggression, and power of the Springboks, while also boasting several of the most naturally gifted attacking players in world rugby. It is this combination that makes France such a dangerous proposition. Unlike many teams that rely heavily on a handful of superstars, Galthié now has genuine international quality across almost every position. Injuries or rotation no longer dramatically weaken the team because capable replacements are continually emerging from one of the strongest domestic competitions in rugby. That depth mirrors exactly what has made South Africa so dominant under Rassie Erasmus, and according to Williams, no other nation currently possesses such an extensive player pool. Of course, comparing any team with the Springboks is a bold statement, especially considering South Africa's remarkable achievements over recent years. Under the leadership of Rassie Erasmus, the Springboks have become the gold standard of international rugby. Their ability to rotate large portions of the squad without sacrificing performance has left opponents searching for answers. During the Southern Series, South Africa once again demonstrated why they remain the number one force in the game, scoring freely, defending with authority and introducing exciting new talent without disrupting team chemistry. Players like Pieter-Steph du Toit, Siya Kolisi, Jesse Kriel, Damian Willemse, Cheslin Kolbe, and emerging stars such as Paul de Villiers continue to give Erasmus an embarrassment of riches when selecting his matchday squad. Every position is fiercely contested, every player understands the system, and every replacement arrives fully prepared for Test rugby. That extraordinary squad depth has become South Africa's greatest weapon, which is precisely why Williams believes only France currently possess the resources necessary to compete with them over the course of a World Cup campaign. Williams even suggested that the Nations Championship has accelerated France's development. Rather than exposing weaknesses, the competition highlighted just how quickly the squad has matured despite constant experimentation. Every opportunity given to younger players has expanded the options available to Galthié, creating healthy competition throughout the squad. Instead of depending solely on experienced veterans, France now appear capable of producing international quality replacements almost every season. That depth, combined with tactical flexibility and world-class attacking talent, has convinced Williams that Les Bleus are genuine contenders to snatch the 2027 Rugby World Cup away from the defending champions. It is a prediction that will undoubtedly excite French supporters while also serving as a warning to every other nation hoping to challenge for rugby's biggest prize. While Matt Williams reserved his highest praise for France, his assessment of Ireland was far less optimistic. For years, Andy Farrell transformed Ireland into one of the most respected teams in world rugby, guiding them to historic victories, a Six Nations Grand Slam, and the #1 ranking in the world. However, the Southern Series of the Nations Championship exposed vulnerabilities that had not previously been associated with Farrell's side. Defensive lapses, inconsistent attacking execution, and an inability to sustain pressure against elite opposition raised difficult questions about Ireland's direction heading toward the 2027 Rugby World Cup. Williams described France as the rising force in international rugby, while portraying Ireland as a nation struggling to maintain the remarkable standards they established over the previous few seasons. It was a harsh assessment, but one that reflected concerns shared by many analysts after Ireland's performances against the Wallabies, Japan, and particularly the All Blacks. Injuries to key players undoubtedly played a role, yet the tournament suggested that Ireland's squad depth may not currently match that of either the Springboks or France. In modern Test rugby, where campaigns are won through strength across an entire squad rather than simply a brilliant starting 15, that difference could ultimately prove decisive. The comparison between France and South Africa is particularly fascinating because both nations now appear to be following remarkably similar paths. Under Rassie Erasmus, the Springboks revolutionized international squad management by rotating players regularly without sacrificing results. Instead of relying on the same stars every week, Erasmus has built an environment where competition for places drives constant improvement. Every player entering the Springbok camp understands the standards expected and knows opportunities can arrive at any moment. That philosophy has allowed South Africa to introduce exciting talents such as Paul de Villiers, while still relying on experienced leaders like Pieter-Steph du Toit, Siya Kolisi, Damian Willemse, Jesse Kriel, and many others. Fabien Galthié now appears to be implementing a remarkably similar strategy with France. By resting senior players following the demanding top 14 season and giving opportunities to emerging internationals, he is expanding both experience and confidence throughout the French squad. The impressive performances during the Southern Series demonstrated that France no longer depend entirely on a handful of household names. Instead, they possess genuine quality throughout the roster, making them an increasingly dangerous opponent for every major nation. Williams believes that if France continue developing at this pace, the 2027 Rugby World Cup could ultimately become a showdown between the tournament's two deepest squads. It is a bold prediction, but one supported by recent evidence. The Springboks remain rugby's benchmark because of their unmatched physicality, tactical intelligence, and relentless squad depth. However, France have steadily closed the gap by combining enormous forward power with exceptional attacking creativity. The emergence of tactical combinations involving players like Romain Ntamack and Matthieu Jalibert demonstrates just how unpredictable Les Bleus can become. Against any opponent, having two elite playmakers operating simultaneously creates defensive problems that few international teams are equipped to solve. If those combinations continue improving over the next 2 years, Williams believes France could become the first nation truly capable of matching South Africa in every department of the game. Not all of Williams' observations were positive, however. Turning his attention to Argentina, the former Scotland coach delivered some of the strongest criticism of the entire tournament. Rather than focusing purely on results, he addressed the behavior displayed after Los Pumas' defeat to England. According to Williams, the actions of several Argentine players and supporters toward referee Angus Gardner crossed an unacceptable line and overshadowed what had otherwise been an entertaining period of international rugby. He described the conduct as appalling, disgraceful, and completely inconsistent with the values the sport has traditionally promoted. Respect for officials has always been one of rugby's defining characteristics, and Williams argued that such behavior damages not only the reputation of Los Pumas but also the image of international rugby itself.